A father took his young daughter to a horse race. No one expected her to do this with the horse. The early morning sky was still a hazy grey as Emma Carter and her father, Jack, made their way down the winding road toward the Ridgeville Horse Fair. The smell of dust and hay filled the air, mingling with the soft hum of anticipation from the townsfolk already gathering around the fairgrounds. Emma, 16, and full of a quiet, unassuming confidence, sat beside her father, her hands gently resting on the reins of Blackie, their family horse, who trudged steadily alongside Jack's old truck. "Feels like we've been coming to this fair forever, doesn't it, Em? Doesn't it, Em?" Jack said, his eyes crinkling with the warmth of old memories. Emma smiled, her gaze drifting across the bustling field ahead of them. "Every year, Dad. But this one feels, I don't know, different." Jack chuckled, a sound as weathered as the old cowboy hat he wore. "Maybe it's just that you're older, 17 in a few months. Almost grown," he teased. But he knew there was something else too, something in Emma's gaze that was more intense than usual. She had always had a way with animals, especially horses, and had grown to become almost legendary in their small town for her uncanny ability to calm even the most skittish creatures. Today, though, there was a particular glint in her eye, as if she were searching for something only she could understand. They arrived at the fairgrounds, and as they led Blackie to an open pen, the buzz of the crowd grew louder. Horses were trotting about, owners and trainers alike calling out directions and making final preparations for the event. Emma stood by Blackie, absently stroking his mane, as her gaze travelled across the field, finally resting on a horse at the far end. A large, coal-black stallion rearing up in a fury, his muscles tense and nostrils flaring. "That's Harry Morgan's stallion, Blackie," Jack remarked, following her line of sight. "He's called Chief, isn't he? Always been a tough one to manage." The man himself, Harry Morgan, was standing near the stallion, trying in vain to calm it down. Chief, the notorious Black Beauty of Ridgeville, had been known for his wild temperament, bucking off any rider who dared to mount him. Harry looked as though he'd given up, his frustration evident as he threw his hands in the air, addressing the growing crowd around him. "Tell you what," Harry barked out, his voice echoing across the fairgrounds. "I'll sell Chief to anyone brave enough to ride him, tame him, and he's yours." Laughter rippled through the crowd, but Emma's heart skipped a beat. She turned to her father, her brown eyes steady. "Dad," she began, her voice low but filled with resolve. "I want to try." Jack raised an eyebrow, looking at his daughter with a mix of pride and fatherly caution. "Are you sure about this, Em? The Chief isn't like Blackie. He's different." But Emma only nodded, her gaze never leaving the Chief. "I think he just needs someone to listen." As she moved toward Chief, the murmur of the crowd followed her, their voices a blend of curiosity and disbelief. Harry turned, catching sight of the slender, unassuming girl walking toward his untamed stallion. He scoffed, shaking his head. "Listen, kid, Chief's not for amateurs. He's bucked off men twice your size." Emma stopped a few feet from Chief, keeping her movements slow and steady. She raised a hand to Harry, signaling she didn't need any help. "I just want a chance," she said softly, her voice steady. She reached her hand out toward Chief, palm open, letting him catch her scent. Chief snorted, pawing at the ground, his eyes wide with suspicion. But Emma waited, her hand still and her breathing calm. Time seemed to stretch, the noise of the crowd fading into a quiet hum as she stood there patient and unafraid. After a long, tense moment, Chief's ears flicked forward, his gaze softening as he took a hesitant step closer. Emma whispered to him, her voice gentle, almost inaudible to anyone else. The stallion's powerful body began to relax, his tense muscles loosening as he allowed her to come closer. The crowd, once bustling and loud, had grown silent, captivated by the scene unfolding before them. Then, with one swift, graceful motion, Emma swung herself onto Chief's back, bareback and without reins. The stallion immediately reared, his hooves striking the air as Emma held on, her body moving with his rhythm. She murmured to him again, her words low and calming. Slowly, Chief's wild thrashing eased and his hooves met the ground. The crowd watched in awe as Emma guided him forward, the stallion now moving with a surprising gentleness under her guidance. From the sidelines, Jack watched with a pride that filled his chest, his usually stoic face softening as he saw his daughter in a moment of triumph. He whispered to himself, "That's my girl." The fairgrounds erupted into applause and someone in the crowd raised a phone, capturing the moment on video. Emma slid off Chief, giving the stallion a final, affectionate pat. Harry approached her, a look of astonishment on his face, mingled with reluctant admiration. You did it, kid," he said, scratching his head. "I don't know how, but you did it. That horse wouldn't listen to anyone, let alone a girl like you." Emma looked up, her eyes still filled with the quiet strength that had carried her through. "Sometimes all they need is patience," she replied simply. As the applause continued, Emma felt a strange sense of calm, knowing that this was just the beginning. What had started as a quiet morning at the Ridgeville Horse Fair had quickly turned into the beginning of something far bigger, though she could only sense the edges of it now. In that moment, with the crowd cheering and her father beaming by her side, she felt an unshakable conviction, one that told her she was exactly where she was meant to be. When Emma Carter's gentle commands guided Blackie through complex movements with flawless ease, the crowd's initial skepticism quickly turned into awe. Harry Morgan, Blackie's owner, had never managed to achieve such a level of coordination with the powerful stallion. Watching Emma's seemingly effortless rapport with Blackie, the crowd fell silent, each person caught in a moment of reverent astonishment. Capturing every second, a local blogger streamed the entire performance live, giving those who couldn't attend a chance to witness this breathtaking scene. As Emma and Blackie moved together, their movements so synchronized they seemed to dance, the live feed spread like wildfire across social media, accumulating views by the thousands with each passing minute. When Emma finally dismounted, the audience erupted in applause, acknowledging not only her bravery but also the incredible connection she displayed with this difficult horse. Harry approached her, his expression blending disbelief with newfound respect. "Kid, you've got a gift," he said reluctantly, holding out his hand. For the first time, Harry, once a staunch skeptic, was openly acknowledging her unique talent. Then, as if the moment were scripted, Emma's phone pinged with notifications from the live stream. A video titled "Young Girl Tames a Wild Stallion" was already making waves online, with comments pouring in from people around the world, marveling at her skill and courage. By the time Emma and her father, Jack, returned home, the video had amassed an astonishing number of views. Initially, the feedback was overwhelmingly positive. People hailed her as a prodigy in horse training, a natural with an extraordinary touch. Her sudden success became a sensation almost overnight. Yet public opinion can be as unpredictable as a storm. Early the following morning, a critical comment from a renowned animal ethics expert sparked an unexpected backlash. Although no one denied Emma's undeniable skill, the expert questioned the method she used to calm Blackie in such a short time, casting doubt on the legitimacy of her approach. "It's not magic," the expert's critique read. "Either it's a setup or potentially dangerous training staged as a spectacle." This comment planted seeds of doubt and ignited a heated debate across social media. As the video continued to spread, major news agencies picked up the story, not just for its spectacle, but to discuss the ethics of viral animal training videos. Several news outlets invited experts to weigh in on the possible stress and long-term effects that fame and intensive training might have on animals. Emma, watching her triumph evolve into a full-blown controversy, felt her heart sink. Her life at school grew complicated too, with whispers trailing her as she walked through the hallways. Some classmates idolized her sudden fame, while others were resentful. A group of students even organized a petition demanding that Emma demonstrate her training methods live to dispel any doubts about their legitimacy. Just as the pressure began to weigh heavily on her, an unexpected ally emerged. A renowned riding coach from a neighboring state reached out, offering support and guidance. With a quiet confidence in her abilities, he invited her to his ranch to learn advanced humane training techniques, hoping to help her refine her natural talent and silence her critics. Amid this whirlwind of activity, Emma received an anonymous email with a video message. It was a collection of memories, beautifully edited, showcasing her gentle approach and the positive transformations in the animals she'd worked with over the years. The video ended with a simple message. True talent shines through contradictions. Keep proving them wrong. Inspired but cautious, Emma realized her journey was about to take a much more serious turn. She now faced a choice. She could step away from the public eye or embrace it, using her platform to advocate for ethical animal training. With her family's support, she announced plans to host a live demonstration to address the controversies head-on. The event would be broadcast globally, drawing even more interest to her story. As preparations got underway, a local animal rights group announced they would attend the event to ensure Emma's methods were transparent and humane. This added an extra layer of scrutiny, but it also gave Emma an opportunity to showcase her genuine care and expertise on a larger stage. Their presence promised added pressure, yet it also gave Emma the chance to demonstrate her commitment and expertise on a grander scale. Just days before the demonstration, during a regular training session, Blackie, the fiery stallion she'd famously tamed, suddenly grew restless, tossing his head and stomping. Emma, puzzled, tried to calm him, but Blackie's agitation was palpable. "Easy, boy," she murmured, running a hand down his sleek black neck. "What's got into you today?" The incident was captured on her father Jack's camera, and before she knew it, had found its way online. Just ahead of her demonstration, the footage caused a stir, with online viewers casting doubt on Emma's abilities once more. "They're saying I can't control him," Emma sighed, glancing up at her father. She felt the familiar knot of worry tighten in her stomach. Jack put a reassuring hand on her shoulder. "Let them say what they want, Emma. You know Blackie better than anyone. This'll pass." Yet, even as her father reassured her, Emma felt the weight of the growing scrutiny. Despite the doubts circling, her mentor, the seasoned trainer who had reached out to her in her early days, arrived unexpectedly at their ranch. "You look like you've seen a ghost, Emma," he remarked, grinning as he took in her surprised expression. "Didn't think you'd be back here so soon," Emma replied, unable to hide her relief. "Thought I'd come to lend a hand," he said, clapping her gently on the back, "and to help you with a few more tricks for your demonstration. You know, keep those critics guessing." They spent the following days working together closely. The mentor's unexpected appearance brought both reassurance and a fresh perspective. He showed Emma subtle techniques, emphasizing, "Remember, it's about understanding their cues, Emma. Horses don't lie. If something's wrong, they'll tell you." On the day of the demonstration, Emma entered the arena with a steady breath. Local news stations, initially skeptical of her methods, had sent a crew to cover the event, creating a platform that could either redeem her or reinforce her critics' doubts. As the crowd quieted, Emma took a deep breath. Thank you all for being here today. I hope to show you how mutual trust works between horse and handler. Step by step, she demonstrated her approach, explaining each subtle movement. See how he reacts to my voice, how he calms when he feels a gentle touch. The crowd seemed captivated, murmuring their fascination, while a few skeptics watched with their arms crossed, leaning in to catch every word. Suddenly, Blackie froze, his ears pinned back. Emma could feel him resisting, a stubborn refusal to continue. The crowd buzzed, the tension thickening. "Come on, Blackie," she whispered, keeping her voice steady. She gently shifted her stance and tried another approach. But as Blackie continued to hesitate, the murmurs of the audience grew louder. "Is she really in control here?" someone muttered from the front row. Emma could feel her pulse quicken, but steadied herself. "All right, Blackie," she said, barely above a whisper. "Let's try this another way." She changed her posture, using a softer, almost imperceptible cue, something her mentor had shown her just days earlier. Blackie responded, calming under her touch and taking a tentative step forward. "Well, I'll be," a spectator muttered, impressed despite himself. As the demonstration came to a close, a woman from an animal rights group stepped up, her face softened with new understanding. She took the microphone and turned to Emma, offering a sincere nod. "We owe you an apology, Ms. Carter. Your respect and patience with Blackie are clear for all to see. Thank you for sharing this with us." Emma managed a small, grateful smile. "Thank you," she replied, her voice steady, though her heart raced with relief. Later that evening, as the crowd dispersed, Emma looked at her father. "Well, maybe today went better than I thought," she admitted, her expression a mix of surprise and satisfaction. Jack chuckled, clapping her on the back. "I always knew you'd win them over, Em. But now, I think the whole town knows it too." With the success of the event, Emma's reputation began to rebuild, and a renewed sense of purpose filled her. She turned to her father, determination in her eyes. "I want to keep doing this, Dad. Organize more demonstrations, maybe even start seminars on ethical training. I want people to really understand what this work means." Jack looked at her with pride. "And I have no doubt you'll do just that, Emma, one step at a time." Shortly after, news came that the esteemed equine scientist, Dr. Laura Johnson, had shown interest in attending Emma's planned seminars. When Emma received the call, her eyes widened. "She's really coming?" she asked, incredulous. "That's what I heard," her father replied with a grin. "Seems like all that hard work's starting to pay off, eh?" Emma's enthusiasm was tempered by a new development. Dr. Johnson expressed a condition for her attendance. When they met, the scientist raised her brows, her expression thoughtful. "Ms. Carter, I'm intrigued by what I've seen of your work," she began. "But if I'm to fully support your approach, I'd like to conduct an independent study on the long-term effects of your methods. Science needs more than just anecdotes." Emma hesitated only a moment. "I agree, Dr. Johnson. If my methods can stand the test, then I'd be honored to have your support." With a shared nod, they sealed a partnership that promised to push Emma's work further into the public eye, supported not only by her instincts and skills, but now by rigorous scientific inquiry. The workshops commenced with an eager crowd, ranging from casual horse enthusiasts to seasoned trainers, all drawn to learn from Emma Carter's expertise. Emma moved through the sessions with a calm mastery, handling each horse with a gentle but effective touch that revealed her keen understanding of the unique psychological nature of every animal. During one session, a notoriously stubborn horse, known for defying previous trainers, responded almost immediately to Emma's approach. The change was profound, almost instantaneous, as the horse visibly relaxed under her patient guidance. The audience watched, captivated by this undeniable demonstration of Emma's skill. It was a testament to her methods, an impressive display of how empathy and insight could transform even the most resistant of creatures. Meanwhile, Dr. Laura Johnson's ongoing research on Emma's techniques brought forth unexpected findings. Early results indicated that the horses trained by Emma showed significantly lower stress levels and exhibited improved behavior compared to those trained by more conventional means. Dr. Johnson shared these promising findings with a hint of caution. "These results speak volumes about your work, Emma," she explained, "but we'll need further data to draw final conclusions." Not long after, a prominent animal welfare organization reached out to Emma, captivated by Dr. Johnson's initial findings. They proposed a nationwide partnership, offering Emma the chance to promote her compassionate training methods on a larger scale. This partnership would allow Emma to extend her influence, reaching a wider network of equestrian communities and advocating for humane methods across the country. At the conclusion of one workshop, a documentary filmmaker who had been discreetly observing approached her. "Emma, I've been watching you work, and I think people need to see this," he said, his voice brimming with conviction. "What would you say to a feature-length documentary about your journey, about the way you're changing the world for these animals?" Emma hesitated, her surprise evident, but she saw the opportunity to share her message more broadly. "If it can help people understand," she said quietly, "then yes, let's do it." In the months leading up to the documentary's release, the buzz around Emma's story grew louder, casting her work in a new light. When the film, titled Whispering Hooves, premiered at a prestigious film festival, it attracted not only the equestrian community, but a larger audience from the entertainment world. Emma attended the premiere, nerves taut with anticipation at the thought of sharing her journey with the world. Following the screening, a renowned European riding coach stood up during the Q&A session, his expression skeptical. "Tell me, Miss Carter," he began with a hint of challenge, "are your methods scalable for larger training complexes, or are they only effective in smaller, controlled settings?" The audience shifted, the room filling with a tense excitement. His skepticism sparked a heated debate among attendees, their opinions quickly diverging, fueling a flurry of media attention. Emma held her composure, calmly addressing the coach's challenge. "I invite you," she said, her voice even, "to a public demonstration next month. I'll train a few horses from different backgrounds, even those with varied temperaments, to show the flexibility and effectiveness of my approach." This open invitation not only confirmed her confidence but stirred greater interest in her techniques. The following day, one of the country's leading equestrian magazines reached out, eager to cover the event and interview Emma. The showcase promised to bring her work to an even larger audience than before, but it also raised the stakes considerably. As Emma reviewed her selected horses, she discovered one of them had a history of injuries and deep-seated anxiety. Her team had overlooked these issues, and Emma knew that handling this horse would require a more profound understanding and a delicate approach. But she saw it not as a setback, but as a chance to showcase the full depth of her comprehension of equine behavior. Turning to her assistant, she said, "This one's been through a lot, but if we can reach her, if she can learn to trust again, it'll show everyone what's truly possible with empathy and patience." The assistant nodded. "If anyone can do it, it's you, Emma." Emma smiled, though her mind was already racing, planning the careful steps she'd need to take. This horse would demand more than training. It would require compassion at its finest, and Emma knew she was ready to prove the strength of her methods to the world. Emma had refined her program to include specialized techniques for handling trauma, collaborating closely with equine psychologists to create a comprehensive approach to rehabilitation. When the day of the demonstration finally arrived, she worked with a particularly anxious horse, her hands gentle and her voice calm. The crowd, spellbound by her quiet determination, watched in silence. Slowly, a transformation unfolded. A horse that had once been tense and distrustful began to respond with calm acceptance and cooperation. The success of Emma's intervention showcased the true depth of her methods, revealing their power to address deep-seated behavioral issues well beyond basic obedience training. Moments after the demonstration concluded, a representative from an international animal welfare organization approached her. "Miss Carter," he began, a look of admiration in his eyes, "we'd like to support your vision with funding to establish a research institute dedicated to studying and teaching your humane training techniques." This opportunity meant she could expand her impact, contributing her knowledge to the broader field of humane animal education. Although Emma's public reputation was rising, she wrestled with the tension between her expanding role and her own longing for a simple, grounded life. After much contemplation, she accepted the funding but chose to establish the institute in Ridgeville, staying true to her roots while fulfilling her mission. As Emma's influence grew within the equestrian world, her institute became a cornerstone for ethical animal training. Plans were made for an opening ceremony, with distinguished figures from veterinary science and animal psychology invited to attend. Yet, as preparations moved forward, unforeseen challenges arose, promising that Emma's journey would remain as unpredictable as ever. Just weeks before the Institute's grand opening, one of her major donors unexpectedly withdrew funding, citing an economic downturn. This setback threatened to delay the opening indefinitely, but Emma was undeterred. She launched a crowdfunding campaign, sharing her vision with the public. The outpouring of support was overwhelming, and funds poured in faster than she had hoped. The contributions not only covered the deficit, but also provided additional resources to support her expanding programs. As the Institute approached its opening, Emma and her team completed a groundbreaking study demonstrating significant advancements in rehabilitating abused horses. The study gained recognition and was soon accepted for publication in a prestigious scientific journal, marking a major milestone for both Emma and the Institute. On the day of the inauguration, Emma presented a live demonstration, featuring a horse she had personally rehabilitated over the previous months. "Everyone, meet Clover," Emma introduced, patting the mare gently. Clover, once plagued by anxiety and fear, now moved calmly across the arena, showing no signs of distress. The audience watched in awe, many moved by the transformation of a once nervous horse into a serene, responsive partner. Emma glanced at the crowd, her eyes bright with quiet pride. "Clover has come a long way," she said softly, "and she's just the beginning. My hope is that through this institute, we can bring humane and compassionate training to countless other animals in need." This vivid success story was a powerful demonstration of the mission and potential of the Institute, drawing further academic and financial support from various organizations. Yet, as the Institute's renown grew, so too did the pressure on Emma Carter to replicate her achievements on a broader scale and in diverse training environments. Critics voiced doubts, questioning whether her methods could truly be applied universally across all training scenarios. In response, Emma initiated a series of collaborative projects with international training centers, aiming to adapt and test her methods in a variety of settings, with the ultimate goal of crafting a universally applicable training model. During a routine program review at the Institute, Emma began to see a broader potential for her techniques beyond horses and into the realm of other animal species. Inspired, she set about establishing a new division within the institute, dedicated to applying her humane principles to a wider spectrum of animals. As Emma's reputation continued to rise, her approach attracted interest not only from horse trainers, but also from specialists outside the equestrian world. Recognizing her unique methodology in animal behavior, a prominent zoological society reached out with an innovative proposal. They invited Emma to apply her methods in a pilot program aimed at rehabilitating rescued wild animals, particularly those affected by illegal poaching and trafficking. At first, Emma hesitated. Such a project was daunting, but she realized this was a rare chance to test the adaptability of her methods. If it can work for horses, why not for animals who've faced even more severe hardships? She mused. Finally, with a steady breath, she agreed to lead a team focused on rehabilitating a group of elephants rescued from poachers in Africa. The project proved to be a complex one, largely due to the elephants' immense size, their intelligence, and the profound psychological scars they bore. Upon her arrival at a wildlife reserve in Kenya, Emma found herself immersed in a vastly different environment where the stakes were incomparably high. During her stay, Emma met Dr. Sarah Monroe, a seasoned wildlife veterinarian. At first, Dr. Monroe harbored skepticism about Emma's methods, fearing they might oversimplify the deeply rooted trauma these elephants carried. Animals with this kind of past can't just be trained. They require patience beyond what most people think, Dr. Monroe warned, crossing her arms. Emma nodded, understanding the weight behind Dr. Monroe's words. "I'm here to learn as much as I'm here to lead," Emma replied. "If my approach can make even a small difference, I believe it's worth trying." As Dr. Monroe observed Emma's respectful, patient approach with the elephants, her initial reservations began to ease. Slowly, she became an invaluable ally, lending scientific insight to Emma's instinctive techniques, blending traditional knowledge with cutting-edge science. The elephants began to show signs of progress, a testament to the combined efforts of both women. But just as progress took root, the reserve faced a grave threat. Word had spread, and poachers, fearful that the program's success might lead to stricter anti-poaching laws, attempted to sabotage their efforts. One night, under the cover of darkness, there was an attempted break-in. Thanks to new security measures Emma had advised, the intrusion was thwarted, but the incident left the team on edge, casting a shadow over the sanctuary's safety. News of both the sabotage attempt and the program's success reached the international media, drawing global attention. Emma's story was no longer just about training horses. It had evolved into a larger battle against wildlife crimes and the tireless work of animal rehabilitation. Emma Carter's groundbreaking work in animal rehabilitation soon garnered attention from the global stage, culminating in an invitation to speak at the United Nations. Standing before leaders and policymakers, she advocated passionately for international wildlife protection policies and shared her innovative ideas on animal rehabilitation. The experience at the UN filled Emma with a renewed sense of purpose. Inspired, she returned home to expand her institute, establishing a new branch dedicated to wildlife recovery. "This is only the beginning," she remarked to her team. "Our mission is to go further, to train conservationists around the world using methods that blend empathy with cutting-edge technology." Emma launched a global educational program that trained wildlife advocates worldwide using virtual reality, simulating real-world wilderness scenarios. This initiative not only broadened her reach, but set a new standard for humane care and rehabilitation practices. 6 months after her wildlife rehabilitation program had taken off, an international conservation agency reached out with an unusual request. "Emma," the director began in a call, "we need your help with a small pack of grey wolves we've just relocated to a national park in the Pacific Northwest." The wolves were crucial to the local ecological balance, but had started exhibiting unanticipated signs of aggression and stress, endangering the agency's carefully planned reintroduction program. Emma, with her extensive experience with both domesticated and semi-wild animals, knew this would be a unique challenge. Unlike the horses and other animals she'd worked with, these wolves embodied a raw, untamed nature. Adding to the complexity, local ranchers were increasingly vocal, worried that the wolves posed a threat to their livestock. "Are you up for it, Emma?" the director asked. Emma paused, but only for a moment. "Yes," she said. "I'll take it on. These wolves deserve a chance to find their place, and I'll do what I can." Upon arriving in the Pacific Northwest, Emma quickly encountered resistance. Not from environmentalists, but from local ranchers. The tension was palpable, their mistrust of her intentions clear. "You're bringing more trouble than you're solving," one rancher grumbled, arms folded tightly across his chest. "Those wolves go after our cattle, and that's our livelihood." Emma looked him squarely in the eyes, her voice calm but firm. "I understand your concerns," she replied, her voice steady. "But if I can earn their trust, these wolves won't need to roam near your livestock. They'll find balance within the park." The ranchers exchanged doubtful glances, but Emma remained unfazed. Resolving these human conflicts would require patience and persistence, and she was determined to see it through. To gain deeper insights into the wolves' behavior without intrusive measures, Emma partnered with a tech startup specializing in wildlife monitoring. They provided drones equipped with artificial intelligence to observe the wolves from a distance. "With these drones, we'll be able to see how they interact in their own territory, where they're least likely to feel threatened," explained a technician. Emma watched the drone footage closely over the following days, analyzing every interaction, every movement of the wolves. As she reviewed the data with the startup team, she felt a growing understanding of the wolves' behavioral patterns, a glimpse into their world that might just hold the key to a successful reintroduction. This new technology provided Emma Carter with an unprecedented insight into the social structure of wolves and the underlying sources of their stress, enabling her to refine her approach with more precision than ever before. As tensions grew between her team and local ranchers, an old ally arrived to lend her support, Sarah Monroe, now a respected leader in wildlife conservation. Sarah used her influence and years of experience to mediate between Emma and the ranchers, organizing community meetings to inform them about the ecological benefits of wolves in the local ecosystem. With Sarah's involvement, public opinion began to shift, and some of the ranchers, who had once opposed the program, gradually became cautious advocates. The true turning point came when a young, once aggressive wolf, known for isolating himself from the pack, started showing signs of integration, all thanks to Emma's revised approach, guided by her observations through the drones. Captured live on video, this breakthrough spread widely, illustrating the positive impact of the reintroduction program not only on the wolves, but also on the entire ecosystem. The public support for Emma's method soared, providing a boost to the entire project. Wow! Wasn't that an incredible moment? Emma's journey with Blackie was truly something special. From the calm confidence of that young girl to her ability to connect with such a powerful stallion, it's no wonder the whole world was left in awe. Stories like Emma's remind us of the deep bond that can exist between humans and animals, and how patience, respect, and understanding can bridge that gap. If you enjoyed this story as much as we did, make sure to give us a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you don't miss out on more inspiring stories like this one. And let us know in the comments, what was your favorite part of Emma's journey with Blackie? We'd love to hear from you. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video.